every one of us are in one of these 9 boxes. So please analyze this chart and figure out which box you're in. So the first, you get to choose which column you're in, okay? The market gets to decide what row you are placed in. So this is the low price column. So I get to choose if I'm the low price. So low price, low price, low price. Who is currently choosing to be low price, the lowest price around? Okay, Dan? Anybody else choosing to be low? Jared? Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Now I want it.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So. Yeah, we're working on that. So anyway, so you have chosen. You have chosen to sell for low price. Okay. And then so you get to choose if you're going to be mid price. Okay. So M price, M price, M price. Who is the middle price option in their market? Middle price, middle price, middle price, middle price. You're high. High? You high? Are you mid price? Middle to high. Perfect.
I would say I'm probably middle to high as well.
Middle to high as well. Okay. So we're not going to create more columns, but yeah, technically you could have a middle to high.
Yeah.
And then you can choose if you're going to be the high price in your area.
Only because my gutter guards are lower than yours.
Oh, there you go. All right, so high price. So we all agree that you actually get to decide what you charge. The only exception to this is if you get sued by your state government, like LeafFilter has, because of your predatory pricing, and they say, actually, no, you're not allowed to charge Mrs. Smith $100 per foot and then go down the street and charge the Joneses $20 per foot. That's called predatory practicing. We don't like what you're doing, and so now you need to switch things up. So, but for the most part, we get to choose what we charge. But we do not get to choose what row we are being placed in, which is the perception of the value that you provide, okay? So you have a perception low to high value for the value you provide in your market. This all gets into the sales, don't worry. So you can be the lowest price guy and have high value perception. Your customers perceive that you're giving a lot for a very low amount. Or you could be the mid-value guy, where you're giving a middle amount of value for a low price, or you could be the low-value guy that just so happens to also be charging low price. And then this goes across, and that's why each one of us is in, generally speaking, one of these boxes. So high value goes across here, high value, mid value, mid value, nope, this is low, low value, low value. Okay, 9 boxes. All right, so now we could analyze these boxes for a while and talk about the problems in every single one, but the big thing is this. We want to be in one of these 3 boxes, and then generally speaking, this is the best. Okay? So best, high, high, generally. You could get into arguments about, you know, different markets, different things, and like maybe it is actually the best for you to be here or here, depending on your market. We do have a lot of people that answer mid-mid, and it's a struggle because it's the chasm. This is all the symptoms of the chasm. You're stuck in the middle, And when you're stuck in the middle, what happens is that you hit a ceiling in your business where like you feel like you can't break through. Like maybe last year you grossed 500,000 and this year you grossed 520, and then next year you grossed 515, and you're like, I'm just stagnant. Like it's just the same. Like I can't grow. What's going on? You're caught in the chasm. You're caught in the middle, and that's where we want to get you out of. So now the question is, all right, Daniel and Colin, how do we sell where we have high perceived value, and we can have command those higher prices? One of the biggest things to point out before we teach exactly how we sell is this perception has a lot to do with how many marketing levers you are pulling. How many levers? The reason why is because of a concept called popcorn marketing. Who has heard of a concept called popcorn marketing? Anybody? Popcorn marketing? Just Isaac? You've heard me say it? Okay. This is how popcorn marketing works and why it builds perception. Popcorn marketing is when you have a customer that they were driving down the road, they saw your yard sign. The next day, they see one of your vehicles driving on the road. And then they saw your ad on social media. And then, well, they remember that a month ago, they got a direct mail piece from you. And then at some point, that dream customer says, these guys are everywhere. These guys must be the what? The best. Because their perception is that you're everywhere, and that your perception is like you've built up this brand in their head that you must be the best in the area. And when we build up a perception that we are the best, who do we attract? We attract the best customers. More specifically, we attract the quality, the customers that care more about quality than they do about price. We actually repel price shoppers. This, if you haven't ever experienced this in your business, great. But at some point, your brand will be built up to the point where you are actually repelling price shoppers. They know because they saw your yard signs and your vehicles, and they saw you on social media, and they saw you on YouTube, and then they saw you in the news, and then they saw you at the community event. They know that they do not want to buy from you because you are probably expensive, right? The price shoppers get repelled by good branding. Price shoppers get repelled by those who pull multiple marketing levers, unless your messaging is off and you're all like, hey, we're Walmart and we're just the lowest price, okay?
Who has felt, who's the newest business in here? Anybody under a year old? We got one. Anybody else under a year old? Anybody who's over 5 years old? Their business? The businesses, yeah. Okay, yours is over 5, right?
No, I started in 2020.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right, okay, so you all are fairly new in business. Who has heard the phrase like, yeah, I love helping a new small business out? Everybody. Everybody says they want to help a new small business out. There comes a point where they stop wanting to help you out because you've surpassed them. All right? I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen where they will stop supporting you because you have all the things that they wish they had. Or you live the life that they wish they lived. It will happen. It's American culture, all right? Maybe not in the UK, I don't know. But here, people love supporting you until you're better than them, or they perceive that you're better than them. So the second that we started giving the perceived value that we're huge, it's probably once a month we have a customer try and stick it to us that literally says, well, you're a huge company though, so you can take care, you're not going to worry about this 10 grand I owe you. It's like, nah, little do you know, right? I mean, yes, we are, there's 2 builders in town that are like same size as us, but for the most part, we are. Builders now? Yeah, they're building full custom homes, right? There's not another roofing or gutter company near us that's remotely close to us. Down in Wilkes, we're not big yet, right? Down in Wilkes, we'll maybe do like 700,000 this year. We're just cresting 1 year in business. So I'm saying in 2024, collectively, we'll do like 700K just in gutters. There's three, trying to bring on more. What's that?
Just gutter?
Just gutters, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. We should be at 1 million. We had some hiccups. I briefly touched on that in the office, but we had some hiccups that set us back a little bit, but that's okay. We're living. And you'll hit that point where people will perceive you as the expensive company, but also a big company, and it can be done really, really easily. I hit that point about 1.5 years, 2 years into business. I had one box truck. I had a 2001 Pontiac Grand Prix that was burgundy, and I put a magnet on the side of it with my company logo on it. Those are my only vehicles, and everywhere I went, people said, "Colin, we see your trucks everywhere." Trucks, plural, all right? And I had one truck, but it was a 14-foot box truck, or maybe that one was only a 12-foot box truck. But I just had my logo as big as I could possibly fit it on the side of it. I literally spray painted the cab white because it was all rusting, falling apart, 91 F or E350. And then I took a roller and painted the box sides black and then had my logo put on it, all right? It was hideous, but it freaking worked. They saw my trucks everywhere. Colin, we see your signs everywhere. You must be so busy. Yep, we are. I was 1.5 years into business. I think my second year I did a total of like 180,000 in total sales, right? I wasn't super busy. I mean, yeah, that was at $6 or $7 a foot, something like that. So decent volume, but not anything crazy. And yeah, people will perceive, it doesn't take much for them to perceive you in the high value range. All right, so don't look at it as, well, shit, Colin, I can't afford an office like this, and I can't, you don't need all that. You don't need all that to have high perceived value. You show up in a nice collared shirt, you show up in a company lettered car, you show up with all your samples, you market the way that you're supposed to, you just, everywhere that you can be affordably, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take that much for people to perceive you as high value. All right? And you will. You'll repulse the poor people. And I know that sounds crude and vulgar or whatever, but we're not going to sell to poor people, so we don't want to attract them. All right? It's give to poor people. You do that.
We can make mistakes and accidentally still attract them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I throw out the wrong message, like, 50% off, right? I'm going to attract price shoppers. And they're like, I can get the high value with the low price? Okay, deal, right? So all the neurons connect. The neurons, it's called popcorn marketing because people keep seeing you everywhere. Pop, 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 pop. And then in popcorn marketing, what happens is every lever that you pull, it actually becomes more effective because you're pulling the other levers. So because you're on social, and because you're doing direct mail, you see a bump in the direct mail because some of those customers also saw the impressions on social. Okay? So that's why it's called popcorn marketing. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, perception. These guys are good. And then the goal of all of this is, and this is where we're trying to get everybody to inside a gutter launch and Gutter Kings, is we want to become known as the local category king or queen. We know internally that we're charging what we're worth. And we're able to do so because we're perceived as a local category king or queen, meaning we are perceived as the gutter, because we're all men, kings of our areas. We're the gutter kings. So great, we've reached that perception because of the branding and the marketing levers that we're pulling, and that allows us to easily charge what we're worth because as a result of this positioning, we are attracting the more affluent customers.